The jet hummed softly in the night sky, but inside, it was anything but calm. Lami sat stiffly by the window, her arms crossed. Tae-Hyun, seated across, sipped his wine, eyes sharp. "When we land, I'm going to my place," Lami said coldly. "No, you'll stay with me," Tae-Hyun said without looking up. Lami snapping, "I'm not your property. I don't want to suffocate under your rules." Tae-Hyun leaning forward, voice like steel. "You carry my future inside you, Lami. That makes you my responsibility. You don't get to choose recklessness." "Responsibility doesn't mean control," Lami said angrily. Tae-Hyun, lifting a brow, voice low and dangerous. "You're carrying something more valuable than diamonds? And you want me to let you live in that shoebox apartment?" Lami snapping, "I'm carrying a life, not a business deal. And I need peace away from you." They glare, a silent battle of wills crackling in the air. Finally, he leans back, lips curling into the faintest smirk. Tae-Hyun replied, "Fine, stay. But don't be surprised when I show up. Constantly." She scoffs, looking away. As the jet descended into Seoul, true to her word, Lami returned to her modest apartment. She thought she'd left him behind on that runway, but she was wrong. He came, always, at unpredictable hours, sometimes knocking, sometimes simply walking in, with food, fruit, tonics. Sometimes he stayed long enough to argue. Sometimes he stayed long enough to make her forget how much she hated him. Lami annoyed, slamming the door as he entered with another bag. "Do you ever knock?" Tae-Hyun dropping the bag on the table, calm. "I don't knock on my own investments," Lami replied. "I'm not a stock. I'm a human being." Tae-Hyun smirking, leaning closer. "Then act like one. Eat. Sleep. Stop trying to collapse on me." He'd bring fruit baskets, soups she never asked for, luxury skincare she didn't need. Each time, they argued. Lami said furiously, "Stop barging in like you own this place." Tae-Hyun shrugging, placing a bag of groceries on the counter. "I practically do. Your fridge was empty." Lami snatching the bag. "I can take care of myself." Tae-Hyun smirking. "Sure. That's why you faint in hallways and forget to eat." She hurls an apple at him. He catches it with ease, amusement flickering in his eyes. She wanted to scream. She wanted to hit him. But sometimes his eyes lingered too long, and her heart betrayed her with a stutter. 3 weeks later, it began. The drowsiness, the dizziness that came like waves, the taste of metal in her mouth, the violent nausea. One night, bent over the sink, she grabbed her phone with trembling fingers and she dialed him, Lami weakly, over phone. I don't feel right. I think something's wrong." Minutes later, he was there. Not in a tailored suit this time, but in hurried clothes, his eyes sharp with something that looked alarmingly like worry. No arrogance this time, just sharp focus. He held her hair back as she vomited, his hand pressed steady on her back. "Easy. Just breathe. Let it out," Tae-Hyun said softly. He steadied her, his hand firm on her back. After, he ordered food, made her sip warm water, adjusted her blanket as she lay pale on the couch. "You're being nice," Lami whispers softly. Tae-Hyun whispers in a teasing tone. "Don't tell anyone. It'll ruin my reputation." She almost laughed, but sleep took her first. That night, he didn't leave. He sat awake on her couch, watching the rise and fall of her chest as she slept. By morning, she was still weak, curled on the couch. He stood arms crossed, watching her with a calculating gaze, eyes fixed on her pale face. "Tell me, when was your last cycle?" Tae-Hyun asked coldly. Her eyes flew open, mortified. What kind of question is that? That's personal," Lami said in a defensive tone. "Tae-Hyun, answer me." Lami frowning, clutching the blanket. "I don't have to tell you about my period." Tae-Hyun stepping closer. "You do. Because if it's late, it means something. Don't act like I don't know how this works. I've dated women before you bleed, Every month, you miss it. It matters. Her cheeks burned. No one had ever spoken to her that bluntly before. It was humiliating. It was intimate. Lami awkwardly calculating, avoiding his gaze. It's late. By a few days. Exactly, Tae-Hyun said. You're late and sick. Take the test. Lami defensive. A pregnancy test? Already? Isn't it too early? Better to know than to wonder, Tae-Hyun added. The test lay on the bathroom counter, like a ticking bomb. He paced. She sat. Trembling fingers knotted in her lap. When the 2 lines appeared, she nearly dropped it. Lami stammering. It's positive. She looked up at him. For the first time, his mask slipped. Relief. Triumph. Something else flickered in his eyes. He froze. His sharp eyes softened for the briefest second before hardening again. He stepped closer, gaze pinning her in place. Tae-Hyun firmly to Lami. Get dressed. We're going to the hospital. I want confirmation. At the hospital, the doctor confirmed it. She was pregnant. The word felt heavy, fragile, terrifying. On the ride back, she protested fiercely. Lami furious. I'm not moving into your penthouse. Tae-Hyun cutting her off. You are. And if I have to send men to pack every sock you own, I will. And he did. By nightfall, she stood in his gleaming penthouse, furious but defeated. Days blurred into strange rhythms. She woke nauseous, sometimes unable to keep food down. Some nights she couldn't sleep, tossing and turning until dawn. He noticed. Always. Every morning before work, he came to her room. Every night before bed, he asked what she needed and made sure she had it. He assigned 2 maids, but still, he hovered, restless. They still fought. Heated, passionate arguments that ended with slammed doors and trembling hands. But the air between them grew. Something was shifting. Somewhere in the fighting, they began to notice each other. One afternoon, Madame Kang swept into the penthouse, warm and radiant. She took one look at Lami's pale face and gathered her in a gentle hug. You must be tired. Pregnancy takes so much strength, Madame Kang said softly. Lami blinked, shocked at the kindness. Tae-Hyun, meanwhile, shifted uncomfortably in the corner. Later, at dinner, Madame Kang fixed her son with a stern gaze. Madame Kang said firmly, in front of both of them, she's carrying your child. Stop being a wall. She needs warmth, not ice. She deserves better than your coldness, Tae-Hyun. Don't treat her like a contract. Treat her like the woman who is carrying your child. Lami's eyes widened. Tae-Hyun's jaw tightened. But his mother wasn't finished. Madame Kang smiling at Lami, tenderly. And you, my dear, don't give up on him too quickly. My son is stubborn, but his walls are thinner than he thinks. Tae-Hyun scowled, but his mother's words burrowed deep. That night, he found himself staring too long at Lami across the dinner table. The room fell silent. Lami's heart thudded, confused, unsettled. His mother's words lingered long after she left. The next morning, sun spilled into the penthouse kitchen, but instead of breakfast aromas, it smelled like ginger tea and anxiety. Lami sat cross-legged on the marble counter, hair messy, clutching a jar of pickles. She dipped a spoon into strawberry jam, then without hesitation smeared it on a pickle and crunched down. Tae-Hyun walking in, staring in horror. That's a crime against humanity. Lami, mouthful, glaring. Don't judge me. This is the only thing that doesn't make me want to throw up. He pinched the bridge of his nose, sighing. But within minutes he was at the fridge, pulling out fruit, crackers, even ice cream, setting them in front of her like a resigned waiter. Tae-Hyun said flatly, fine. Eat whatever circus act your stomach demands. Just don't faint again. Later, she did throw up. Kneeling on the bathroom floor, tears pricking her eyes, she muttered, Lami voice breaking. I hate this. I hate feeling weak. I didn't ask for any of this. Her voice cracked, and before she knew it, hot tears rolled down her cheeks. She didn't even know why she was crying. Maybe hormones, maybe exhaustion, maybe both. To her shock, he crouched down beside her, a hand steadying her shoulder. Tae-Hyun said quietly, softer than she'd ever heard. Then hate me instead. Shout at me. Just don't carry it all alone. She buried her face in her hands, still crying. He hesitated, then pulled her into his chest. Her sobs dampened his shirt. His palm moved slowly across her back, awkward but steady, anchoring her like he was afraid she might drift away. Tae-Hyun murmuring into her hair. Cry as much as you want, but after, you'll eat something. Deal? Lami sniffled, pulling back to glare at him through watery eyes. Lami pouting. You're bossy even when you're nice. He smirked faintly, brushing her cheek with his thumb, almost unconsciously. Tae-Hyun voice low, teasing. And you're impossible, but still my responsibility. For a moment, the penthouse didn't feel cold. It felt almost like home. One evening, steam curled from the bathroom as Lami stepped out, towel wrapped low. She didn't expect anyone, until the door creaked open. He walked in, stopping at the frame. His gaze lingered, slow and deliberate, and he leaned on the frame, gaze sweeping over her slowly, deliberately. Tae-Hyun low, husky. I like what I see. Her breath caught. She froze. He didn't leave. His smirk curved dangerously. Her first instinct was to grab the towel tighter, but she didn't move. Her pulse hammered, Tae-Hyun smirking as he said, You're smoking hot. For a woman with a sharp tongue. Startled, she clutched the towel tighter, but her lips betrayed her. A smile, small and nervous, tugged at the corners. To be continued.